In the latest case of trans activism run amok, a 13-year-old girl in Maine was being secretly transitioned at school, even being provided a chest binder without parental notification. Now the teen's mother, a Democrat, is suing the school district, accusing a school social worker of predatory grooming. With us now, PragerU personality and former Black Lives Matter activist, Xavier DeRusso. It's great to have you on. I want to put this up there. Her name is Amber Levine, and she's suing the daughter for, like we said, allowing her to begin transitioning. Here she is on Jesse Waters. Watch and we'll talk.
Unfortunately, this has become a political issue. It's a parental rights issue, and whether you're a Democrat or a Republican, I firmly believe that you should want your rights as a parent to be protected.
And she's right. This is a parental rights issue, Xavier.
Yes, it is. And Amber is doing exactly what every parent in America needs to do, and that is stand up and fight for parental rights. Because these schools should not feel emboldened to just hold this sensitive information away from parents, whether it's regarding the subject matter in the curriculum or if it's the dynamic among the teachers and the students. Parents have a right to know. That's why I encourage parents to subscribe to PragerUkids.com and download their parent action guide so that they can get the rhetoric, the tools, and all the resources to demand access to what is happening in their kids' classroom.
We live in a time where, you have to get permission to give a child an aspirin in school, and yet some of these school districts saying, well, you don't need permission to transition, and we're going to keep it secret from parents. That's a shame.
It is a shame, and the priorities are completely backwards. They are trying to drive a wedge between the students and the parents. This is the definition of predatory behavior, and the schools need to be held accountable for this.
So talk about child exploitation. This is transgender adults stripped naked in Dutch television for a Q&A with 10-year-old children to promote sex changes, right? It goes on to say, quoting here, the television show is called Gewoon Bloot, or Simply Naked in English, displays nude adults in front of 10 to 12-year-old children. One trans-identifying adult told the children they felt euphoric after having gender reassignment surgery. It's one of those things where this is indoctrination at the lowest levels. It really is, because they're so influential at these ages, and to see stuff like this is really, I mean, a lot of parents say it's harmful.
It's inexcusable. Bad things happen when not enough good people are willing to stand up and put an end to it. Because I'm looking at these people and I'm like, how could you ever in any circumstance think it's appropriate to get naked in front of a child?
Right.
And I tell people, you have to ask yourself, are you more afraid of being called a bigot, or are you more afraid of being a bystander who's willing to sit and watch this horrible, disgusting, predatory behavior happening to children? Because if they have the comfortability to do this in front of a room of cameras, imagine what they are doing behind closed doors.
Yeah. We did this in Real News Roundup, but I wanted to get your take on it. This is Anheuser-Busch, right, making the statement about Dylan Mulvaney and the Bud Light thing where they've lost about $5 billion. They say, quoting here, we never intended to be part of a discussion that divides people. We are in the business of bringing people together over a beer. Do they realize that they're $5 billion down and they're doing this, or do they think that maybe the whole let's go woke thing is probably not effective in bringing people together and selling your product?
I wonder how many times do we have to see that if you go woke, you go broke? People like Dylan Mulvaney are being shoved down our throats. He is being celebrated for these days as a woman. But what about the people who have been women their entire lives? They're being completely erased, and this indoctrination is being forced upon us everywhere in the country. Yeah,
and not only that, but it's not just the Bud Light. It's the fact that Dylan Mulvaney is actually promoting women's wear, Nike wear, and Tampax and other things that women around the country are thinking, are you kidding me? Are we really at this point where this can happen? I got about 10 seconds for you to wrap us up.
It's repulsive to see. It's cultural appropriation if I've ever seen it.
Yeah, it really is. Xavier, thank you. Thanks for coming on.